think we're live.
Awesome. Well, hey again, everybody.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. I'm Melanie Carr, Vice President of Xscapers RV Club and co-founder of Xscapers.
And I'm Travis Carr, the president of Xscapers RV Club and also co-founder of Xscapers. So we're back again with another virtual campfire. And so what is a little more about virtual campfires? This is the first time you're joining us. So, something we've been doing every other week. A little bit of this and that, introductions, education, just some fun talks, and a little bit about our club news going on.
Yeah, and they alternate every other week on the different pages. So you'll find us 2 Wednesdays from now, or the Wednesday after next, on the Xscapers RV Club Facebook page. And then we'll be back again after that on the Xscapers page. So this will be our second time hosting this on the Xscapers page. And we'll have another guest joining us in a little bit, and I'm sure you're all going to be familiar with him.
JP?
Yeah. So we'll bring him on in just a little bit. So we're excited to have him join us and talk a little bit about what's coming up with our virtual events and convergences in the future.
But before we bring JP on, a little bit of club news. You may have seen, if you checked your member news this morning, your email, or yesterday it was, I guess, is our new t-shirt campaign with some cool new designs. That helps and show your support for the club. So really excited about it.
We are super excited about those. We've got 2 different designs, and they were both actually designed by our very own Brandon Hatcher, the brand director for Xscapers, and our other graphics department, Cole Carter, helped design a few as well. So this may not be the only one that we do. So we've got a few more designs in our back pocket. But yes, we've got t-shirts, ladies cuts, shirts, hoodies, and you can choose between those 2 different designs. And the proceeds of these shirts actually go to the profit from them go to help support Xscapers RV Club through this time. We've been doing a lot of advocacy efforts and outreach, and so those contributions go directly to that. So we're excited to be able to bring those to you and show off your support for the community.
We're trying to get everything on the screen here, so sorry for the jumping around. Yeah. But yeah, we talked a little bit about doing donation to charities. We've got a couple of questions, about if any percentage or the profits go to charities or such as CARE.
Yeah. And so we do have a very rich history of contributing to CARE. A lot of our chapters, BOFs, they donate through their rallies. The Xscapers RV Club does during our annual Escapade, the Xscapers Bash. Anywhere possible, we love to give back to that organization. And also, we are partners with Leave No Trace and other organizations out there that benefit the RVing community. And right now, we feel with this directly benefiting us, we do highly encourage you to check out those organizations and directly contribute to them, as we feel would be better served at this point in time to do so.
So, before we introduce, we'd love to hear, what your favorite shirt design is. If you have one, have you got one yet? What did you like about it? What color did you go with? Did you get a hoodie? Have you ordered it? Yes, that's true. Me and Melanie obviously ordered one of everything. That was our goal.
I'm very excited to get those.
No, we are excited. So, and they're pretty cool designs. Obviously, they're 2 different designs, which was purposeful a little bit. The Essential Service is a little more clean cut, and just
Yeah, and the S'more Campfire is a little more whimsical, and that's the one that has the ladies cut also. So, it's got a little bit of something for everybody. So we hope that you'll take a liking to one of those.
So it's the time to bring the one and only Stash JP, the Stashed JP.
Wearing the stash. Yeah. Hey, JP.
Awesome. I don't know if I can hear you.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Awesome. We hear you and see you. I don't know if that's a good thing though.
Hey now.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, this is the first time seeing JP Smith, our convergence director. I'm assuming most of you have probably seen him. For those of you who catch the rerun, JP is the first time he's ever had this mustache thing going on. He normally has a nice, short 5 o'clock shadow beard going on, and now he's got this thing on his face. So I'm curious of what's going on.
It's my quarantine stash. I figured I wasn't going anywhere for a couple of weeks. So I started to shave my whole beard, and I was like, oh, that's too easy. Let's have a little fun with it. So, if the convergence director doesn't work out, I could always go be a fireman or a police officer, or even like a late 70s porn star, maybe.
You
Look,
definitely look like the police officer.
I'm definitely not one to talk about the facial hair though. In reality, my mind just doesn't grow in, even though I tried for years. This is like years of work.
Well, you wear it well, Travis. You look good, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate the kind words.
And cheers. This is happy hour, right? Or virtual
Yes,
campfire.
so cheers. I'm sorry to rub the shiner in your face, JP, since you're not in Texas. But,
yeah, Travis knows, being that I'm from Texas, that I love Shiner, but you can't get it out west where I am.
Yeah.
So, before we kind of get into the topic of what we're doing here, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about the virtual events coming up and stuff. And before we do that, do we want to see if people want to encourage or maybe give some suggestions as we kind of talk along of, what the community's thoughts, what your guys' thoughts are on what we can do and fun ideas.
Yeah. Well, as you know, the events have kind of been canceled for a while, so that's why our awesome event directors like JP and David and Cheryl, our SPA directors, everybody's been chipping in with ideas that we can do online to make sure that we still have a way to bring the community together during these hard times where we're all kind of stuck at home.
So JP, what have you been up to, man? I know you've been hosting a lot of these virtual events, and we've been involved in some of them. But from your point of view, what's going on out there, man?
I think it goes without saying the world pretty much changed overnight, and we were literally 2 days away or 3 days away from our last convergence. We had that really great one of my favorite ones we've ever had down in Casa Grande, Arizona. We had something like 150 RVs there and just had a wonderful time. And then it's like everybody left, and 5 days later, the world goes into lockdown. So we were 3 weeks away from our next convergence, the one in Bishop, California. And, it was a struggle at first to try and figure out how we're going to get the community together if we can't really be together. So like you said, we all had a meeting virtually on Zoom. And unfortunately, we didn't get Zoom bombed, which I've heard is a lot of fun, but hasn't happened to us yet. But we got, some of the club members, some of the event coordinators, Travis and Mel. We all sat there on a Zoom and kind of pitched a few ideas. What can we do if we really can't be together right now? And we came up with some good ideas. David and Cheryl were there, and they're the event directors for the Hangout program. And we came up with a few things that we started pretty much instantly. I mean, within the first hours of quarantine, we started talking about virtual happy hours and virtual games and music and stuff. So it's evolved a little bit, and we've kind of backed off from doing as much as we did that first week, but we're on a good schedule, and we hope all the people who are watching now will join us for some of the things that are coming up.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to see all of the unique ideas that you can do online. And I think we've been in a perfect place as an organization to bring that to life, because we, like you're saying, we always met over Zoom. So when we were brainstorming, it was just natural to do that on Zoom. And Brandon and Karenza in our marketing department were very well versed with this Be Live program that we're using now. So we've been able to take that pivot very quickly with those ideas that you've had and bring them online to the community. And it's been fun to see all the participation from people that we know in events and all the new people that have hopped on to give it a try as well.
Yeah, but we're trying to continue to evolve those ideas too and come up with new ways. We know the same type of thing can get stagnant to a degree. And sorry for stepping away earlier, JP. Our little one called me to wash his sticky hands, so I had to step out. So I hope I'm not repeating anything. But yeah, so again, we'd love to hear your ideas on what you have, what we're going to. But yeah, kudos for sure to you, JP, and the rest of the event staff, David, Cheryl, even Judy, Dwayne, and Lisa and Jim, who've thrown out some ideas too here and there and participated. So
and like Travis said, we came up with the ideas that we could come up with our group, but there's 70,000 members of Xscapers out there, something like that. So there's obviously a lot more brain power out there on the interwebs and at home. So if you have something that you think would work really well for a virtual event, please don't be afraid to reach out and message us or put it over here in the comments, and we're trying to watch that as well as they scroll by.
Yeah, one thing I thought was really fun that came out of that meeting that we haven't had a chance to put together or formalize yet, but I'd be curious to hear from the audience if you'd be interested in this, was a virtual tour of a museum or a national park, finding a way to either do that together or do it online and then come back into a group like a Zoom meeting and share your thoughts about the experience that you
that
had.
way it would be a little more than just going online and watching a virtual tour. It's more of a community atmosphere and interactive thing. So for sure.
Yeah, we also talked about virtual rig tours. We know there's a lot of different rigs out there, and it'd be fun to bring some of those on and see what they look like from the inside. If you can't go out and one of the things we've been doing is the lot crawl at the convergences, and that also involves touring other people's rigs, and kind of missed that already.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, and it's got a little bit of educational in there too, so that's a great idea too. And
there's a lot of cool workspaces out there, so we could even specialize them to have focus.
Yeah, I don't agree with Marnie's suggestion though. Zoom bombing. Let's not make that the activity.
Well, Chris says a virtual tour of a brewery or distillery, and I'm glad you're here, Chris. But I would rather have a real tour, or at least a virtual tour, in addition to sending out samples from the brewery or distillery. I had a Zoom call with my three good friends from high school last night, and we all decided to go out and buy a local beer wherever we are, and we're going to mail one beer to each of the three other people, so that next year, in a couple of weeks when we get together, we can each sample 4 different beers from all around the country and talk about it together.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love that idea.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
We'll just
Chris, go out and buy us all beer or whiskey from a distillery and send it to us, and then we'll do a virtual tour.
Wait to see the comment back if he agrees or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we talked a little about what has been on the table for the past couple of weeks with these virtual events. So if you want to go into maybe what we have coming up for the next few weeks in the future.
Yeah. So the first thing we've been doing is the virtual happy hours. And like I said, that started almost within hours of going into quarantine. We figured that was easy to do and just see how it happens and see what happens when we get people into a big Zoom meeting. And David and Cheryl have been doing a wonderful job doing this, and I've been doing it the other week. So we've been rotating, and everybody's welcome at all of them, but they host one every Friday, and then I host it the next Friday. So my Friday was last week. David and Cheryl are going to be doing it this Friday night. And generally the way it works, if you haven't joined us, we just get together. You can have a cocktail or not, but we talk about where everybody is and just kind of catch up. And the main thing is seeing those those faces that you recognize.
Right.
Have a quick chat, have a catch up, usually for about an hour or so, 45 minutes or an hour. And then we try to work in a game. And this week, Cheryl and David are going to do Murder Trivia Party, which I've played, not on Zoom, but I played it before, and it's a lot of fun. You play on your cell phone while you're watching on your computer, or vice versa. You can have one device for playing and one for watching.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of fun and gives a little bit of competition, but it's fun competition.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Is there like a funny story that's happened during those happy hours that you can tell without embarrassing anybody too hardcore, or?
If you haven't played with Zoom yet, I think one of the more fun features is the backgrounds that people can add. The cool thing about Zoom is you can change your background. Let me see if I can switch this around. There's not an easy way to get the one that I want up front, but that was from one of our first meetings on Zoom. Oh, it's not gonna. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. That was from one of our meetings, and you can change the backgrounds there. And if you look, there's 2 baked potatoes in the screen that people showed up as. Yeah, we've had some interesting backgrounds. People being chased by dinosaurs. The Tiger King showed up to a couple of our meetings.
Can't you be a Tiger King potato too?
I think you can actually. But see, that's Snap Camera though. That does the potato stuff, which is a really bad habit to get into. When it all came out,
just ask Brandon and Corinne.
Yeah, it's destroyed about 30 minits of our meetings every time we do it. It's just.
I think that was fun. All we accomplished for like a week straight was figuring out those filters.
But that's pretty fun, and every week somebody shows up with a new background that's better than the last, almost. And then so David and Cheryl are doing a murder trivia party this week. And I've been working in the background. I'm really excited about 2 weeks from now, not this coming Friday, but the next Friday, we're going to do a team trivia. So I've got some trivia questions that we put together, and then we've been practicing in smaller groups and making sure it would work for the big reveal on a week from Friday. So you show up, and we're going to assign you into small little breakout rooms in Zoom, where you can be in a room with 5 or 6 other people, and we're going to give you some pretty difficult trivia questions, but you can talk amongst them, talk amongst your team there. And we've got prizes coming, and we've got virtual prizes and real prizes. If you've ever been to one of our convergences, you know I'm a big fan of the dongles that hang off your name tag. So we've got trivia dongles that you can win, like actual things. Next week, I'll mail those out if you're the winner of the big trivia contest a week from Friday night.
That's all. So I think that's really cool and fun because, Zoom's really good for meetings and stuff because it only allows kind of one person to talk because it kind of mutes everybody else when somebody else is talking. So having those breakouts, I think, is really cool to get people in a more intimate kind of interaction like you would see at a convergence or something like that too. So no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, you're far less than $1,000 dongles.
You said that so non-dramatically.
Well, I didn't want to sound like JP. I didn't want to come off as I was stealing it or something.
You all heard it in that voice, right?
Yeah, I didn't have to say it.
Well, actually, I just thought of something. We could do virtual rig tours with those same breakout rooms where each one could be a host. So maybe we'll make that happen for one of the virtual campfire or one of the virtual happy hours on a Friday night.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Idea. That's fun.
Oh, thanks a lot, Plus Paul, for that comment. So yeah, the happy hours have been a lot of fun, but really the main thing is just seeing some familiar faces. The other interesting thing I'll say is that we've had several people who've never been to anything Xscapers or anything Escapees show up for their very first time to a virtual happy hour. Some of them are newer RVers that want to get out there on the road, but they've been roadblocked, so to speak. And then others are thinking about getting into it. And it's a good spot. We had a nice discussion. Well, anytime you get RVers together, the conversation always turns to what solar and black tanks.
Yeah, I was just going to say, was it about poop and toilet paper?
Yeah, exactly. So that was a few weeks ago. We had a relatively new RVer and ended up asking some questions and got some good answers about it. So it can be whatever it is. It just depends on who shows up.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, I know we got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, but I'm just taking a minute to look at the comments and see. Yeah, we should get Peter on here to do some music trivia. He's done that at a couple of convergences. Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Cheryl.
I saw Brandon's Tiki Night comment, and I'm always down for Tiki Night. But the problem is without Brandon, I think it's hard. Brandon is the Tiki Night. Brandon and Corinza are the Tiki Night. They're both the who bring the Tiki.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a Tiki night and just have everybody show up in their night. We should do a costume night there.
Well, they could they can have all their ingredients and they can host it and they can teach us how to make their tiki drinks. Although I will say the time they came over and offered to make us tiki drinks, they filled our entire island with bottles of crazy stuff, like all the ingredients that go in it.
So sorry to hear our child who
I'm going to go get them.
It's okay, Travis. No, we're in a new world where people, if a child crying in the background is the worst thing that happens in a Zoom meeting, I think we're good.
I think the only concern is I don't want to turn into a meme like the British guy that like the kids came in, like that's my concern. It's like, but no, that would be fun.
Did you hear last week? This is a true story. A Mexican weatherman was doing a live Zoom of the weather live from his house, and his nude girlfriend walked by in the background. The thing is, that wasn't his wife, that was his girlfriend, and his wife found out about it from that.
Yeah, that's really bad times. I know while Mel's getting back, we'll just BS a little bit here. But, actually Sean Loring, our CEO, I won't name names of who it was or the organization or anything like that, but actually had one of these instances happen to him where a kid walked by, or a grown adult kid walked by with nothing but underwear on in the background of the in the conference call. So
Yeah. Maybe we should actually have that as. Oh, hey, hey, Declan.
hey, that's our 4-year-old as of this Saturday. He'll be 4. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
But anyways, continue on, JP. She'll be back.
Did you see Brandon's comment? He says, "That's terrible. What channel was that on? Nobody should see that. Let me know the channel so I can find it and report it."
Brandon.
Yeah. Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, your Declan's going to be 4 on the Saturday.
Yeah, he turns 4 this Saturday.
How did you remember that?
How did I remember? No,
I
said
thought
it
JP
already.
said that. I was like, wait, what?
I mean, JP's cool and all, but he doesn't know when our child turns 4.
Yeah, I have a hard enough time keeping up with my nephew's birthdays. What do you guys have planned for his birthday party in quarantine?
Oh, so much.
Not much, but we are going to go to the zoo, which the San Antonio Zoo lets you drive through in your car. So we're going to do that. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
And I got him a pinata, so pinata for 2 children. It's going to be a lot of fun and exciting. Watch them.
That's a lot of candy.
To break it. Yeah.
Oh,
Filled it with toilet paper. It's okay.
So yeah, we were talking about the virtual happy hours, and definitely come for that. And we do have some people that come for the happy hour and then don't stick around for the game afterwards. That's fine. It's just, and if you want to show up later, if you don't want to be there for the first part, you can just show up later and play the games. But it's fun to have a little bit of competition and change it up from just the sitting around chatting about where everybody is and what we're going to do when we can get back on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that for sure.
So yeah, the virtual happy hours was one of the first things we did, and like we said earlier, if you have any ideas, one of the things we talked about, and it's actually come up in the community a couple of times, that we decided to give it a try next weekend is the virtual 5K. So you don't have to be an athlete. All you got to do is walk 3.1 miles or jog 3.1 miles or bike 3.1 miles. But what we want is not this weekend, but next weekend. We want all the Xscapers to go out and do something athletic just to get moving and try to cover 3.1 miles or 5K, and then post a picture of it onto Facebook or Instagram with a piece of paper that says virtual 5K Xscapers. So we're excited about that. But go on, Travis, Mel.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, no, that's awesome. Actually, Jeff and Deb just posted in the group that they kind of inspired a few people to do that as well in the Xscapers group. So if you guys seen that too, so kind of shout out to Jeff and Deb for jumping up and throwing something together. And no, that's awesome. So it should be a good time. I'm sure we need to go walk our 3.1 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you do it every day. I don't.
I'm excited about it.
I'm not going to run it. I'll stay with the kids.
I just saw Brandon's comment. It's 107 degrees where they are in Arizona. So if you're doing that, maybe if you can
just walk in your pool, Brandon. Just do laps around your pool for 3.1 miles.
Back and forth inside your RV 1,000 times.
Or just get up early in the morning and do it like at 6:30 in the morning. Get it done with. Come back, jump in the pool, and then hide inside the rest of the day.
Yeah. But no, that'll be fun.
Virtual 5K, is that a drink name? Marty, I think it could be a drink name. That's a good one. Again, this is not going to be measured. There's no prizes. It's all on the honor system. But basically, we just want you to go out, do 3.1 miles, and then take a selfie of yourself holding up a sign that says Xscapers Virtual 5K, and share it on Facebook and Instagram. And we'll see a lot of those hopefully next weekend. And just so it's not always about drinking and getting together on the happy hours, get everybody out there doing something.
You can take a drink with you though. There's nothing. There's no rules against that. We're very casual
here.
Especially here in Texas. I still hear Texas is #1 in alcohol consumption. So
Oh wow. A buddy of mine who actually lives in Mexico told me that a lot of Mexico has stopped alcohol sales once they started quarantine. Like you couldn't go to the grocery store and buy it. No booze.
Wow.
Oh, I
So,
love that idea, Loopy. Our 5K runner number could be our escaping number. Yeah. So you can
that
put
is a
that on
good
your little
idea.
bib, your paper bib.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Awesome idea. I
Huh.
like it.
Yes, I know Brandon. He has never seen 6:30 a.m. unless it was at the end of a night where he was up playing darts all night or something.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna say
Yeah.
that one escapade. Where were we? Missouri. You guys were up pretty late.
That's the
Dan
one.
was,
I think they stayed up playing darts. I wasn't
Yeah.
there, but he was.
And Brad.
Yeah.
Dan was, can you do it on a cycle bike?
Oh, nice. Nice little plug there, Daniel. Yeah, do it. Do it on an e-bike, a cycle bike that we have a partnership with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
So and then yeah, the other thing that we're doing besides the happy hours is quarantine live, and this has been a lot of fun. I don't know how many of you out there, I recognize a lot of the names, but we've been doing this every Saturday night, and look, we've made it easy for everybody. Just like the virtual happy hours, the virtual campfires, and quarantine live, they all start at the same time. It's 6 o'clock Central Time, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, but always 6 o'clock Central, so you don't have to think too hard. But every Friday night, we've had quarantine live, and we've had some great music along the or since we started.
Yes.
If you don't know what quarantine live is, we've just been featuring a lot of Xscaper musicians. Let me see if I can get this in the right. There we go. A lot of Xscaper musicians and musicians who have performed at there. Is that better?
Oh, now I'm leaning.
And musicians who have performed at our convergences. So, you know, we like to call them the house band, the Status Crows, perennial favorites. They've performed for our Saturday night concerts, I think 3 times now. And they're just doing it because they love the community, because their shows got canceled. You know, to be honest, I think Chuck would play every minute of every day in front of a crowd if he could. Michelle, maybe a couple of times a week. But yeah, we're trying to just bring music to the community and liven up the Saturday nights. And the music is fun, but so is the chat that goes along during the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a good way to, you know, support the community members. We've been doing tip jars for them. We hope people have been tipping. You know, a lot of these people are community members who, you know, can't play right now, and so we really appreciate them coming on and being a part, not only of supporting the club and giving the community members something to do, but we hope in return the community can support them back. So that's kind of the goal here too.
And they really are just a lot of
so
fun. Even though you're sitting behind a computer or on your phone, it still feels very high level energy. Yeah. And like you're saying, the chats, you get to interact with new and your old friends. So that whole aspect of it just makes Saturday or the whole idea of being stuck at home or stuck in your RV just a lot more fun and easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been working out really well. We're getting, you know, 100 plus people joining us live on Saturday nights. Mm-hmm. But then during the week, we've gotten some of the streams have had 5,000 views during the week. So it's good music. Like I said, we've had the Status Crows on. This Saturday night, 6 o'clock Central. That's 4 o'clock if you're in California or Arizona, and 8 o'clock if you're on the East Coast. Kyle Brady is going to be playing again. This will be his second performance. And if you don't know Kyle, he's from Drivin' and Vibin', one of the OG Xscapers. I met them at the very first, what would become the Bash there in Quartzsite. Yeah. They're great people, and he's a musician who was I don't know, he was undervalued, I think, until he found his tribe amongst the RV world, and now he's really making his way through the RV community and well known and plays great music.
Yeah, they actually, him and his wife Olivia, they have an album too with their music that they wrote on the road, and it's all about them being inspired by the road. So it's really cool.
No, they're both awesome. But Kyle has an amazing voice, and we watched his last one, and he had a lot of fun. And my mom, I know, is in love with him as well. So.
Yeah, he has a new biggest fan for sure.
Well, he's also a young, good-looking guy, so that doesn't hurt.
That's not why, JP.
No. Hey, Kathy's got good taste.
Yeah.
And so Kyle's going to be this Saturday. and then the week after, so it'll be a day after our trivia contest, and the weekend of our virtual 5K, we've got Pop Gun Rerun, and I'm excited about this. Travis and Mel, you guys know that I love 80s music, and these guys have been to the annual bash twice.
Yep.
They were the first band that ever played at the new annual bash in Lake Havasu City.
You're right. Technically, they were the first. Yeah.
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
I think Rod and Tanya were the first ones in Quartzsite.
Before it
That's
was
right,
known
yep.
as Annual Bash. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
No,
Pop
they're
Gun
awesome.
Rerun, they do all sorts of 80s covers, and they're doing it. They're bringing the whole band together. They've all been in quarantine, so they figure it's safe. They're bringing the band together to their studio, and it's going to be a high quality show. Not that our other shows aren't, but it's going to be a high quality show, and lots of good 80s music. That's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So definitely want to tune in for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very high energy band.
And then after them, we've got Luke and Kaylee. And Luke and Kaylee are Luke and Kaylee are out of Tennessee, Nashville area. And they are also a good, high quality band. They were recommended, actually, they were sent to me by a member in Xscapers. Said, hey, you should look into these guys. And I listened to some of their music, and he put us in touch. And I was like, hey, if y'all want to play a Saturday night show, we've got the audience for you. And they couldn't have been more excited. So
Awesome.
they're going to be 3 weeks from now. What is that? The 23rd, I think. Yeah, the 23rd.
Okay.
And,
maybe they'll be playing at a convergence soon then.
Yeah, we've already talked about getting them out.
Awesome.
They play kind of like indie rock acoustic. Maybe a little bit of country mixed in with that, but it's a lot of fun and just nice, good, chill music.
Awesome.
Are we going to convert them? So the goal for this live then is to convert them into RVers. Are they RVers or no?
We've already talked about it, and they are interested in getting more involved in the RV lifestyle.
Awesome. So that's the goal.
Yeah. So they're going to be 3 weeks from now, and then we've got a couple other good shows. I don't want to say too much. We've got one other show that's in-house, like that's within the Xscapers community that we're working on for after that. And then after that, we're talking about the 1st of June. And I was reached out to, like, people have heard about our quarantine live shows, and I was reached out by a very professional musician. He's not like on the radio or anything. It's not Luke Bryant, but he's got he's somebody that we couldn't normally afford, but because all their shows are getting canceled, they want to perform in front of an audience. So be looking for some good quality music coming up the 1st of June. And we had Matt Ferris. I forgot to mention him. Yeah. That guy has a following, and he played our Saturday night quarantine live, and we might get him back for another one. But he's been playing Sundays. Have you seen this?
Yeah, he's been playing constantly from what I've seen.
Yeah. He's playing as much as he can, but he's doing something called Corona caroling. And if you were at the Casa Grande Convergence, he was one of our headliners there and put on an awesome show, made a lot of big fans. But Corona caroling, he's been driving around in a trailer around the neighborhoods of Phoenix on Sunday afternoons with his band, going through little communities, bringing live music to people's houses. It's been really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's awesome. He seems like a really great guy. We've never met him in person. We weren't able to make that event, but
his voice is amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you can't shave it until after Pop Gun Rerun, JP.
Hey, I think I'm getting used to it now, but I'm not sure how Elena's gonna like it. Yeah. I don't think she's a big fan of the mustache.
How about, can we vote on if we're all a fan of JP's mustache? Is that the comment of the day?
Yeah, we could do a poll. Should JP keep his mustache?
Then that way, if you get it, voted to keep it, Elena can't,
I'm not voting for that. I'm not getting involved.
Elena said no.
You have my full support.
She's back in the bedroom watching television now, just trying to keep her mouth shut, I'm sure, from yelling out about the mustache.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of bands coming up, man. That's awesome. I mean, that's a whole month, essentially, plus a little bit. So that's awesome. Again, it just goes to show that without you guys, I don't know what we'd be doing. So I hope everybody recognizes that, what JP and David Sherrill and everybody else is doing to pull this all together. It's not easy, even though it's not the same as these in-person events like we're used to. It's still a lot of work, and it wouldn't be the same without you guys.
It's a lot of dedication to the community too, to make sure that you guys still have this time to be together. So
and getting on at 6 o'clock at night, and making it happen too.
Weekends,
so weekends and everything else. So
yeah.
Anyways, just a shout out.
Yeah. Brandon says Team Elena. Marnie. Team Elena. Oh, and Georgianne's already created a hashtag campaign for it. So they're on Team Elena. The quarantine live and the virtual happy hours have been a lot of fun, and it's great to see everybody's faces, including ones with mustaches, I guess. But we all want to get back together. We all want to see each other and eventually give each other hugs and high fives. And basically, what does that mean? Coming back to the convergences, we still have them planned. Although the year is running out, and we've already started planning the annual bash for next year. So we still have convergences coming up. The Bishop convergence was the first one to be canceled, and actually, I shouldn't say canceled. It was postponed. So that one is still on the books for September. And we'll let everybody know with plenty of time. It depends on California's rules and how safe it is to travel. And we're constantly monitoring that. We're watching the news just like everybody else. And Melanie and Travis, the board of directors of Xscapers, is meeting really frequently and talking about just this issue, right?
Yeah, we meet every week, discuss all things regarding COVID, basically just that topic, from the parks to the events to headquarters policies and so forth. It's one of those, it's just constantly changing. And obviously we have our emergency meetings from here and there if things, change or need to be addressed immediately. But everything has been canceled event wise up until August. So through July. Yeah. And again, those get evaluated every month, essentially. We're trying to give enough time, obviously, to see what's going on, see what's changing, and still give everybody the refunds and, travel plans.
And we're pretty caught up right now to the point where we feel comfortable with where we've canceled through and some of those events that were kind of in the works being planned for later in the year, right after summer, fall. They're all still kind of in our back pocket, but we don't want to put those out there and take registrations without being fully confident that we're going to be able to put that event on for you guys.
Yeah, and if when we resume these events, we expect changes to take place and kind of some of the procedures and policies at the events itself. We're working on that too. But just so as everybody knows, it's not like it probably won't just be back to totally normal, 100% anyway. We don't know what those changes will be, but we
miss everybody. It's like that's been one of the hardest parts about this is not being able to have those events in person, and we know how much the community means to the RVing world, and how we've heard so many times, that before they came to an event or an RVer that was on the road and came to an event that they were kind of feeling lonely out there and a little lost until they found their community. So we realize how much they mean to everybody, and we hope to get them back up as soon as possible when we safely can.
So back to you, JP, with the Bend. I know we kind of cut you off there when you were talking about, Bend is postponed, but for September, but we're kind of reevaluating. And Bishop. They're both.
Yeah, we had an event scheduled for Bend in August. We still haven't canceled it, but it's looking less likely, and we'll make a decision on that really soon. But Bishop was one that we postponed till September. It was originally in April, and that one's still on the books. And then after Bishop, we've got the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, which, the Balloon Fiesta organization is still planning to have it. And if they're having it, most likely we'll be there if it's safe. And we've got We've got spots reserved for that. We haven't put the tickets on sale for that, but as soon as we know it's safe and we can go to that and it's going to happen, then we'll put the tickets up for sale for that. And even if you don't make it to, or if Balloon Fiesta doesn't happen or you don't make it this year, it's an amazing event. You got to go to that. And it's near and dear to the Xscapers' heart. Melanie, tell them why.
Yeah, that was actually our very first convergence ever that we co-hosted with Chris and Cherie from Technomadia, who helped us launch Xscapers. So yeah, we hosted that. How many years did we do it? We did it 2 years in a row.
We did it 2 years in a row. The first 2 years.
And then we kind of took a break, and JP picked that back up. This will be your second year going, or your third year now going?
Second year.
So, yeah, it is an incredible experience, unlike any other. And back then, we still actually purposely keep this group a little small just because of the fun that it can bring, keeping the rigs around like 25 to 30 rigs. You really get to know each other in that setting, and the event itself is so jam-packed when you're going into the balloon festival. So keeping it a little smaller allows for you to have that flexibility to see what the Balloon Fiesta is about, and also spend some time with your fellow
we weren't the brightest the first go-around, being our first event. We did the full
10 days.
Which, no, it was like 14. For us, as host, it was like 18 days or something. Boondocked out on that that old field. But so now we rotate. Correct me if I'm wrong, JP, right? So we can get 2 groups in. So we do have more people than what we used to, but it's still a small group. So that way it's keep it small, but more people can come.
Yeah. And
what we decided to do this year was go with 30, maximum 30 people, but divided over 2 weekends. So you come out basically for 5 days and enjoy the first weekend, and then we'll swap out, and then another group comes in. Because also what people don't sometimes realize about hot air balloons is that they pretty much only fly at sunrise, and sunrise in Albuquerque that time of year is like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you have to be out of the field and ready to go by 5:30.
Oh yeah, when you're crewing, but there's nothing more amazing than being in your RV and hearing that noise above you and opening your windows and seeing it. A lot of people get on the roofs and watch them pass by.
It's a great event. And
then sometimes they even land in your parking area. But yeah, I mean, Xscapers itself has also it doesn't just hold a really special place in our hearts for Xscapers, but the Xscapers hops go there every year. The boomers go there. So it's just really popular among the RVing community because they have a really prime location for you to park and watch the balloons. And Brandon Kearns over there too.
Yeah, they were at the very first one.
Yeah.
And Brandon got up that early to see the balloons?
I think he did once.
He was crewing.
I think he did at least once.
With the pig balloon.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
balloon.
Pegasus.
Yeah, I will say that too. Of the people who wanted to go up in a balloon and help out, about 90%, I think, of the people who made an effort to go and help out crewing, which is a lot of fun. About 90% of them got to go up in a hot air balloon for free, and just to experience it. I got to go up. Elena went up. So lots of people went up if they made an effort to do it.
Yeah, and you get free tickets to the festival.
Right. But it's cool going with the group too, because there may be times where you don't want to like get up every morning at 5:30.
Yes.
So with the group, you can kind of rotate those shifts a little bit more than you would normally do if you're just going and crewing, you know, for the event itself. So yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we're still planning to be there, and that's the first part of October. And then if everything's okay and the city of Las Vegas is open again, we're planning to be back in Las Vegas for Halloween. That was an amazing convergence. That last year was the first time we did that, and it was just so much fun. We boondocked on Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas, something that very few people have ever done.
Yeah, we were so sad about missing that, but our son's birthday is October 28th, so it always makes it hard for us.
I mean, he's gonna, he's had 8 already. I think we can miss one.
Hey, remember, he can watch this like 10 years from now. It'll be recorded.
He's probably in his room watching it right
now. No, man. But that does look like an awesome event. Really sad we missed it, and it seems like a lot of fun. And plus, man, we're dying to get out in our new rig. We got this new rig right before we did all this, and we've been in it once for a few days. So it's just sitting.
Yeah, you got a Winnebago, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's a lot of very neat.
Very nice.
But
nice
when we use it.
Um, did you see Chris Dunphy says that we need a giant Xscapers balloon?
Uh-huh.
It's been talked about
Yeah.
a couple of times.
By some people who are really serious about it.
I won't say names.
What is it? What is it, like $500,000 or something for a balloon?
No, they're really not that bad. Well, I say they're not that bad. For a hot air balloon, they're not as much as you would think. I think you can get a standard balloon used for, now, I don't know what, if it's like aircraft, you know, like I don't know if you want new or used or.
Also, leave a comment if you would get in a hot air balloon with Travis flying it.
Oh, I'm not going to pilot it.
What are you gonna just watch YouTube videos on how to fly a hot air balloon?
Is that not how we get certified? I thought.
Oh my gosh.
Oh jeez. I'm sure we've got a pilot out there that would in this group somewhere that has a license.
Yeah, Fred.
I bet.
Fred.
Yeah, but he's got balloon. He doesn't want to fly our balloon.
That's okay. Listen, if you're a certified hot air balloon pilot with extra $500,000, leave a comment over there on the right, and we'll be in touch.
Oh, jeez.
Did you see Lupe said to bring the kids to Las Vegas? Bert will watch them for you.
Yeah.
Hey, you say that, but let's hear what Bert has to say about it.
Yeah, you're always offering his services for us to go everywhere.
Well, I will say that Lupe and Bernal, I think, just about saw where we camped in Las Vegas. We were literally across the street from the oldest bar in the city of Las Vegas, and they close sometime between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m, depending on how many people are there. And Bernal and Lupe were the last ones in that bar every night of the Convergence.
That's how they were, or Bernal, at least at the Western Caribbean cruise that we went on. Oh my gosh, every night. The last people up.
Yeah.
What was that place called? That thing up top. What was it
The
called?
lounge?
The weird bar thing. What was it called?
Oh, the dance club.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
like
called
a normal bar during the day.
I think it was called COVID Central.
Well, nowadays it sure is, I'm sure.
Too soon.
They shut that
down. Las Vegas would be the end of October. And then as of right now, the next Convergence would be the annual bash. And we've been talking about that already, starting to do some planning for it. And last year in July, we put tickets on sale for that. So be looking out for that, and we'll have a plan soon. But the annual bash, if you've never been in Lake Havasu City, the middle of January, it's always a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are planning to go back there again.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've said anything about that yet, but we do plan to go back to the same place, which is an awesome facility. For those of you who haven't been, it's a really great place for the size that we have, the number of people, and with the tent and the trailer that we've gotten to use twice now, it added a great addition to the facility. Is three times. Oh yeah, New Year's Eve.
New Year's, New Year's, the bash, and then Casa Grande.
Yep. So it'll be back too, hopefully, which is another great venue. So
Viking Crown Lounge, there it is.
That's it.
Yep.
Thanks, Cheryl. That was gonna drive me nuts all night.
But we'll be back in Lake Havasu, assuming the world hasn't ended by then, and it'll be a great time. And like Travis said, it's a good venue with a good size. Last year we were a little worried that we might have we were trying to get as many people involved as possible. We hate turning people away from something, and we're worried that we might overwhelm the facilities. But last year, even with 350 RVs, it still wasn't crowded, and everybody could get into everything they wanted. So it was a very successful event, I think.
And the town itself, Lake Havasu, has a lot to offer. They've got grocery stores, they've got restaurants, a lot of
just a
hiking.
pretty area. It's just got everything you need. It's half a mile away to the grocery store. It's just a nice.
And the rodeo grounds are awesome to work with.
Yep.
We do love Mark.
Yeah.
And like after the bash, it keeps going. We've already started planning for Mexico again. This will be our 4th year going to Mexico, believe it or not. And we've got the fireworks in Lake Havasu. We're working together, the Hangouts crew and the Xscapers crew, to bring some people to, or the Xscapers crew to bring some people to Lake Havasu again for the Winter Blast fireworks, which if you've never seen those are awesome. And then Escapade in Tucson is only, less than a year away. And if you've never been to an Escapade, it's always a good time.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tucson's another great location, being so
Yeah.
central. It's awesome facilities, large and just a nice area, and centrally located. So Tucson's always a big event for Escapade too. So
yeah, and we've
big
been
area.
going there every other year for the past 5 years or so. So yeah, we always have a great time.
We actually launched Xscapers at
We
Tucson.
did.
So just a little history fact for you.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why we
2015.
love it so much.
True. We got our Xscapers tattoos in Tucson too.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
We don't have
But,
tattoos.
No tattoos.
Show them off.
What?
Oh, mine's under my shirt. That's not a good idea.
Whoa, this is a family broadcast, Mel.
This is not quarantine live. But yeah, so JP has been working hard to keep up to date with the convergences and get some plans on the schedule for the next year. But to keep the most up to date with all that information and to see when things are getting released, you of course always want to subscribe to the Xscapers newsletter on xscapers.com and check out the convergence page on there, because we've been updating that as soon as decisions are made, whether we release an event or have to cancel one due to the pandemic. We're keeping that the most up to date as possible.
Yeah, I'm curious, who's looking forward to coming back to convergences? I mean, who misses everybody? How much do you miss your friends and your Xscapers family? I'm really curious when people are going to come back out and looking forward to those events. So I know we're looking forward to them once it's reasonable to do so, obviously.
Absolutely.
But really look forward to it.
Yep.
Just a couple of housekeeping items. Remember, Mel, Travis, tell them about it one more time.
T-shirts.
You can get them for far less than $1,000.
It's true. Yeah. So that campaign will actually be open until May 20th. So you have a little bit of time if you want to think about it, take a look at the options, make sure you're picking the right one if you don't want them all like we did. But the t-shirts go for $25, and that's for the standard t-shirt and the ladies cut, and then the hoodie goes for $38, and there's a few different color options there as well. So,
and they're set up as a support campaign, so they actually won't ship out until after the campaign is ended.
Right.
On the 20th. So it will be a little bit before you get them.
It'll be early June when those start shipping out, when we'll get those. So,
but we hope to see you in one.
Yeah,
because they're
definitely.
awesome. Big kudos to Brandon for those, and Cole also, who helped, and
and our marketing
we'll
team.
See where that goes, but yeah.
Hey, look who showed up, Bernal. It's like he heard his name called.
Hey, they're on the ship in their picture.
Is that? Oh, it is. It's not the Viking Crown.
Oh, it's the Viking Crown Lounge.
it's the hot tub where Travis slipped.
What?
Oh,
Not a thing.
Funny.
Yeah. So follow the link, or you'll see it on all our social media channels to get the t-shirts and support the club, and also they're just cool designs.
Yep. Yeah.
I agree.
Well, it's been fun chatting tonight. Thanks for joining us again, JP, and thanks to everybody who's watching, commenting, participating. We talked a lot about the virtual events that we have on the table for the next few weeks, so I hope that you can join us for one of those soon.
We'll probably see you at one of them, if not many of them.
Yep, and David and Cheryl, like JP said, they'll be hosting the Xscapers Happy Hour this Friday night, so be sure to tune in for that.
Yeah, next up, Xscapers House, or David and Cheryl on Happy Hour Friday night, and then Kyle Saturday night for Quarantine Live. There's no virtual campfire next week because that's every other week. But then we've got trivia on Friday night and Pop Gun Rerun the week after. So it's going to be still a lot to do, even if we can't get together physically.
Yeah, and we could next Wednesday if you want to shave that and put it in a jar. I think someone suggested this. We can make it an event where you just shave it off and keep it in a little jar, like a little caterpillar,
I'm open to whatever, however it'll help the club.
Since Travis struggles with growing his, maybe you can turn it into one of those stick-on ones for him, so he can know what it's like.
I don't have a problem with my mustache. What are you talking about?
You haven't shaved that in years.
My mustache.
Hey, well then, I think the answer here is I think Travis needs to shave everything but the mustache.
Oh no, that's not happening.
Oof.
Just saying.
That would have to be some real strong convincing and a lot of t-shirts bought.
All right. Well, thanks for inviting me onto your virtual campfire, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you again tomorrow, just on the reg.
Bye, everybody.
Right.
Have a great evening.
Bye, everybody. Take care. Stay safe.
Ooh, and goodbye.